when you leave today that you think of. We'll do a session with Kylie and Kirsty. Well, Kirsty did most of her stuff yesterday, but Anna as well, just to feed into the process.
Do we need to go back onto live stream, or?
We are.
We are back on. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, we've got year one aspirations from the councillors for the long-term plan.
So what we'll do now is we'll just whip through the themes and we'll talk about some of the post-it notes, and you can elaborate on those or discuss those if you so wish. So we've got social sector coordination through Waiora House redevelopment and a plan in place for development of the cultural/museum and civic centre. Continue BAU, but looking to the future. And we've got a really strong communication theme running through here, so much greater iwi hapu participation, new ways to communicate with the community. Not quite sure whose that one is, but we'll have a talk about that one, John. More engaged communities and better engagement to gain better understanding of council's role in the community. So Hadley briefly touched on the pre-engagement exercise that we're going to be doing with the community as part of this process, and really to reinforce the whole localism theme, and the idea is to be talking to communities about their identity and where they see their place in the world or their place in the district, at the same time as kind of their crystal ball gazing as to what they'd like to see. To start working for the district to be a better place to live than when I came in, and a fair rating base. So that harks back to what Neil was running you through earlier. Resilience, social inequality addressed. Tūrangi proud of their progress. Mangakino and Tūrangi community public facilities planned and building underway. And an increase in our GDP. So that's year one. Is there anything that anybody wants to talk about in that space? No? Year three, we've got to be able to make three major projects. To be able to name 3 major projects started in my term, which I don't think is going to be too difficult. Traffic reconfigured. Again, it's a project I think that we're about to embark on. To be proud of my time and feel I achieved some of my goals. All the team together, public space. Staff on one site. Diversity of economy. R&D. Small industries, research and development for small industries. Several significant businesses established in the district, supplying a minimum of 500 jobs. Secondary and tertiary education offerings extended significantly. Provision of state housing and lower cost housing. The airport being completed. The hotel being completed. Shovel-ready projects being completed. Well-established iwi relationships. Waiora House replacement, whatever that may be. Outlying parts of the district feel included and integral. People from Taupo moving to Tūrangi for a better life. Roading upgrade between Taupo and Tūrangi. Established facilities in small communities and a better livable district with affordable rating, reduced gross debt, good assets and a clean environment and a great place to live and visit. Five years, we've got infrastructure keeps pace with development, balanced growth to attract younger demographics, and a tertiary institution developed, completed commercial tourist upgrade to town centre including river development harbour development, town centre in Tongariro domain, fully integrated, walkway around the lake, affordable housing, i.e., sorry I can't read that, but home village or similar. Do when I bought a farm, I said I wanted the farm to be in a better condition than when I bought it. This would be the same for the district, a better place to live than 5 years ago, and have a positive impact across all of the district and have achieved outcomes that will benefit across all pillars: social, environmental, economic and cultural. Righty-ho, so what we'll do with all of that is we will take that, as I was explaining to a couple of you before, there are a number of things that will feed into the long-term plan. One will be the actions that we're responsible for Regenerate Taupo District. There will also be the results of the performance measure survey that we went out to the community. So that's the survey that we do every year to inform our performance measures with the annual report. So that also tries to glean information from the community about facilities and what they'd like to see happen in those spaces. Your feedback that we received today, the councillors who aren't here today, their feedback, and then ultimately the community. So we're looking at going out to the community mid-August, so just a couple of weeks away. And again, it's around having a discussion with them about how they see their future and their identity and how they fit into the wider picture of the district.
Can I just ask a question with regards to the Regenerate plan? Because I've just identified that there's about 59 projects that TDC are expected to either lead or support. And I guess from the public's, submission processes and there's an expectation for us to be involved in that. So we need to possibly realise that this has actually been a public document, and we have said that it is to be owned by the public. And so, I guess, it's about supporting, growing and developing our community, and there's some really good stuff in here. So how does this fit into our long-term planning?
So, absolutely. Most of the actions in there are either already underway or will be a discussion as part of your LTP. The TDC actions are taken care of in that way. So when you're going through your LTP, it'll be up for us to make sure that we've covered off any residual actions. So, a key one in there is for example, the Airbnb discussion. So you started that Tuesday, and as part of the LTP, you'll need to be making those calls. So it's something that you'll, like all your strategies, you'll assess back and make sure that you've covered those actions to the best of your ability in the long-term plan.
Really just from now is just to point out where we're going from here. So there's just a bit of a timeline for you. So today being the first workshop with you, as Lisa mentioned, community early engagement throughout August, along with TTCB and rep groups. I mentioned earlier too that iwi Partners Hui that we're having in here on the 20th of August. So just a heads up, it would be great if as many of you as possible could come along to that conversation. We will get an invite sent out to you, but it's the afternoon of the 20th of August in the chamber. Then in September we'll have a follow-up workshop with you where we will, as Lisa's just wrapped up the information that we've got from you today, any further ideas or thoughts that you have over the coming days, just fire them through via email. It's probably the easiest way. And then we'll bring back some drafts of an infrastructure strategy, financial strategy for you to sort of firm up where you're going with some of those documents, because they're going to be what drives the decision making as we go through this LTP process. So we'll look to do that in either the first or second week of September. Then in late October there will be further workshops with you to talk around more detail around, for example, revenue and financing policy or development contributions policy. So there's a bunch of different policies that are associated with the LTP which you need to work through as well, so we'll do that in those workshops. And then late November, we should be in a position to bring you a schedule of works for you to work through based on those 10 groups of activities. A bit similar to what you did with the annual plan, going through those CapEx projects. So that will be done late November. Then we have a preliminary audit, so getting all of that stuff out of the way in late November means that we have our auditors here. You'll be looking to adopt draft asset management plans, and then come January, adopting draft consultation document for audit. There's another audit process, then consultation throughout March and April, so we'll be out for a month, and that's the formal consultation process. So part of the thinking around the pre or early engagement is quite often through this we do the formal consultation and we get ideas and thoughts from the community, but often it's quite late to implement them or we don't have sufficient information. So the hope is with this early engagement we're going to draw some of those thoughts out from the community so that they can be given due weight throughout the process. But then obviously we still have that formal consultation process in March and April. Then hearings and deliberations, they're normally historically about 3 days of hearings for LTP, and then normally about a day to deliberate after that. There's a final audit, and then the 29th of June will be the council meeting where you adopt the LTP. So yeah, fairly long process. What we're hoping to do is get you this in a bit more easily digestible view, so you've got a better overview of what's coming up over the next 11 months, and we'll get that sent out to you. So that's it for today, unless you've got any more questions, but certainly send through thoughts and ideas if you have them over the coming days.
Cool. Thanks, Hadley. All right. Any final questions of Hadley as to the process and that pretty straightforward? Yep. Very good. Thank you very much, councillors, and we will see you at the next one or whatever we got on. Thank you.